Tonight we are tracking stories that span the globe, from military tensions in the Baltic to a visa shock that has rattled Indian workers in the United States, to high-stakes diplomacy at the United Nations and a deeply polarizing memorial service in Arizona. And later we'll take you inside our deep dive, the political storm unleashed by President Trump's $100,000 H-1B visa fee, a policy that could reshape the future of global talent. Welcome to World in Focus, and here are the top headlines of the day. We begin in Europe, where German and Swedish fighter jets were scrambled on Sunday morning to intercept a Russian reconnaissance aircraft flying over the Baltic Sea. Officials say the plane entered neutral airspace without filing a flight plan or maintaining radio contact, prompting NATO to deploy Germany's Quick Reaction Alert Force. To Washington now, where President Trump's sudden order imposing a $100,000 fee on H-1B visas has thrown Indian communities and global tech industry into panic. The H-1B program is the main pathway for skilled foreign workers into the United States, and India accounts for majority of its recipients. The announcement sparked confusion worldwide, even causing chaos on flights as visa holders questioned whether they could re-enter the country. The White House has since issued clarification, but uncertainty lingers, and we'll explore the story in depth in just a few minutes. At the United Nations, world leaders are preparing for a one-day summit on Israel and Palestine, co-hosted by France and Saudi Arabia. The meeting, timed ahead of the General Assembly, will focus on reviving the long-stalled two-state solution. Diplomats warn the concept of a viable Palestinian state is at risk of disappearing altogether as Israel expands control in Gaza and the West Bank. With the momentum building after a series of recognitions of Palestinian statehood, the summit will test whether global consensus can translate into meaningful pressure on the ground. And in Arizona, a massive memorial service was held for conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was killed on September 10th. Tens of thousands filled the State Farm Stadium near Phoenix, where President Trump described Kirk as a martyr and a great American hero. Vice President J.D. Vance and others officials joined the tributes, while Kirk's wife Erica delivered an emotional speech, saying she had forgiven her husband's alleged killer. The event highlighted both Kirk's influence and conservative politics and the deep divisions his legacy continues to stir. And now for a deep dive, the Trump administration's dramatic overhaul of the H-1B visa system. It was a weekend of confusion, panic, and rapid political fallout. On Friday, President Trump stunned the world by announcing that the cost of applying for a H-1B visa would jump to $100,000, a 50-fold increase from the current levels. The immediate response was chaos. Immigration lawyers worked around the clock to parse the order. Silicon Valley companies advised employees not to travel. Families scrambled for answers. Even an Emirates flight was delayed on the tarmac for hours as passengers tried to confirm whether their legal status in the United States was still valid. By Saturday, the White House sought to dial back the shock. Officials clarified that the fee would apply only to new applicants and only as a one-off. But the damage was done. A program that has been central to US innovations for 3 decades was thrown into turmoil. The H-1B has long been a bridge between India and the United States. More than 70% of its recipients are Indian nationals, software engineers, doctors, researchers, and professors who helped fuel America's growth while building new lives abroad. Entire industries in India, from IT services to aviation, have grown around the pipeline of workers traveling back and forth. In the US, the impact is just as stark. Indian origin professionals today run some of America's largest tech companies. Indian doctors account for nearly 6% of the nation's physician workforce. In hospitals, labs, and classrooms, H-1B holders have become indispensable. That is why the new fee is such a shock. The median salary for a new H-1B worker last year was about $94,000, less than the fee itself. Experts argue the math simply doesn't work and say the hike effectively shuts the door on new applicants. Critics also question the legality of the move. Immigration law authorizes fees only to cover administrative costs, not to restrict applicants. Policy experts call the order ludicrous lawless, warning it will face immediate legal challenges. But while the H-1B is under assault, Trump is offering another option. The president unveiled a so-called gold card visa, a fast-track path to US citizenship for the wealthy. For $1 million, individuals can buy residency, companies can sponsor workers for $2 million, and for $5 million, a so-called platinum card offers extended tax privileges. Trump says the system will attract the extraordinary rather than the ordinary. Critics say it is another sign of immigration policy tilting towards money over merit. For India, the implications are severe. Its $283 billion IT sector has long relied on the US market, which accounts for over half its revenue. And for America, where industries from tech to medicine depend on skilled workers, the risk is a self-inflicted talent shortage. So that's all in World in Focus for today. Follow the Finance 360 for more.